Hello. Welcome back once again to Lutys Chainsaw Mods. I just thought I'd just show you something interesting. Just talk about tuning me Chinese chainsaws, really, you know, porting them and what have you. This one here, which I've been working on for ages, it's finished now. Excellent power out of it, ported. It's ported, it's got a lowered jug, so I've shortened the jug, raised the compression. Compression's just over 1 millimetre on that one, 1.15 millimetres. It started out at about around 2, just over 2 millimetres. It's got, I mean, I've opened up the cooling holes. I put I make intake manifolds for these, and it's got the big intake manifold on it that I make. It's got a big carby of a Husqvarna 372, 72cc motor. It's upgraded from 18mm carb choke to a 22mm carb choke. So what else? Oh yeah, it's got a modified exhaust as well, with a sonic cone built into it, two slightly bigger outlets. Yeah, I've even had to cut some holes into the clutch cover because that one overcomes the clutch piece of cake. You know, if you put the clutch on and rev it, it'll overcome the clutch quite easily. And obviously, when it's running, cutting through some wood, the motor will overcome the clutch if necessary. It pulls so hard, it's unreal. So over time, like I said, I've been doing different things to it. I've got it to the stage it is now. I've ported it twice now. I've had the cylinder off a couple of times, but I ported it twice. The second one, I concentrated quite a lot on the piston windows. I think I've done a lot better job of it this time because I've got even more power out of it. It's I've done a video on it recently, about what I've done to it. I've got a couple of these, and I've got another standard CS580 like this one, but completely standard. I bought it second hand. It was barely running, but the bloke had put the clutch cover on and burnt and melted all sorts of bits, the seal and God knows what, like. But other than that, it's hardly been used, to be fair. It's probably just broken. So that one, which I've been planning on doing, I've applied everything I've done to this one here into that one, but I've gone a bit further. I've ported it a lot more aggressively than this one. The piston's very light on it now as well. The piston's been lightened. It's got a standard exhaust on it, which I've just basically I've opened it up from inside. It's got the 372 Husky carb on it and the big intake manifold that I make. Anyway, I just finished it a few days ago, building it. I had it outside, just on its first sort of start up. The bar wasn't on it or anything. Funny enough, the same thing happened to this one when I fired it up. I had outside running, and it was ticking over to start with. I'm just sort of trying to get the carb somewhere near for it to run properly. Obviously, because it's got the bigger carb on it, you have to tune it kind of differently. But you know, I felt I was getting there, and I revved it a few times, and it really picked up. picked up really well, like, you know, and then it cut out on me as soon as I released the throttle. So I restarted it again, and anyway, I couldn't get it to idle, and I'm holding the revs on slightly. I've wound the idle screw in. I still couldn't get it to idle. I thought, it's weird, something's changed, something. I thought, well, maybe it's the fuel regulator in the carb's not set right, or a bit of dirt in there, or whatever. Anyway, it spat back at me. It backfired, and it must have pulled backwards or something, and it broke the starter rope, snapped the starter rope. So I'll go into why it's done it in a minute. I've done a mod to this now, which is a bit like the same sort of mod that I've done to that one over there, where, see, I've spring loaded it. I've also put this piece of rubber at the bottom. That was supposed to be glued in there, but it keeps coming out. Doesn't really matter though. Okay, so I spring loaded that now, so hopefully it won't do it again. If it does, if it does backfire again. Anyway, I messed about with this saw for quite a while, trying to tune it and what have you. It's been freezing in here today, so I'm all wrapped up, but I'm getting a bit warm now, so I've got bloody 2 jumpers on and what have you. Yeah, I've got the fire going now, so it's a bit better in here, but I'm getting a bit warm. I'll just put this up out of the way. Anyway, so I'm messing about with it, trying to tune it a bit more. Then I wasn't sure if the intake bolts were coming a bit loose, because really it was its first run, and then I would go through certain things. Now there's no spring washers on the intake manifold. It's just got bolts straight onto the cylinder. So, you know, when I've sussed the issue, at the moment I just pinch the bolts back up. When I've sussed the issue, I'll put spring washers on them. Now, this is it here. Anyway, it spat back at me, this bloody thing did. And I just couldn't get it anywhere near. Just couldn't get it right. It was really bugging me, you know. Anyway, this is what I found. I'm not sure whether you're going to see it that good, I'll be honest, but you might. So what's happened, obviously because it hasn't been running right, I think what's happened, must have, I mean, it's drawing a hell of a lot more air than it was, and it's revving a lot higher. They're rated at 1100. It says on there, look, just underneath. They're rated at 1100 RPM. The other one, I clocked it at 14,400. So this is probably going to be even better, like. But anyway, you know, I'd had it going, try and rev in it and all the rest of it. And like I said, because obviously I've got a big car, big intake, it's been ported and all the rest of it, high compression. It's even higher compression than the other one. It's drawing a massive amount of air and a lot quicker. And I think that if you look here, the seal, now can you see that? The seal there, look, is up, proud. There it isn't, look. level there. As you go round, it's basically what it's done. It's spat back and partially pushed the seal out, the crank seal. I'll just show you that I've got a gap. So if you look on, this side, you can put a bit of electrical wire inside. Just push it in, look. Push electrical wire in it. Okay, so it's, there you go. So it's basically, I think it's just basically the pressure, the extra pressure, the way it's flowing and everything is just starting to push the seal out. Now they've got these seal retainers on these, okay, which bolt down, which is quite a good idea, but really it's not this. I'm going to have to reshape this because it needs to be able to pull that seal in a bit more. It was able to lift up the one side. So that was why so yeah, that was why it so that was what it was, because it's obviously it's sucking air now through that seal. Now the other one, this one here, did do this, and it almost blew this seal right out on that one, but it was the other side. This is the one on the flywheel side. That one was the one that came out on that one was the clutch side. I know what I did with that one. I cleaned everything. I got a new seal and I fitted it, and I put super glue around it. And it's been all right ever since. It's been fine. So I'll do the same with this one. But it's just something that really, I mean, I had an idea it was that. Once I stopped messing with it, and I thought, nah, this it's just not going right. And I did think, well, maybe it is push the seal out or whatever. Anyway, it has. But that's what it is. That's, it's just something to be aware of if you are porting, tuning your saw up and what have you. Although, I haven't touched these seals and all the rest of it on this one. Because I've uprated it, it's drawing more air. It's going to cause much more pressure inside the crank. Things are going to go wrong, but you can get round it by super gluing them seals in. I mean, you could use Loctite if you wanted to, but it takes longer to dry. Super glue will hold them in, and it'll hold it in straight away without a problem. So I just thought that you guys might be interested in knowing that. So once I've done that, hopefully if I can set it up properly, set the carburetor up properly, I'll have myself a decent saw like the other one. And I might be able to, just use them as and when. But I'm pleased with the way it's going, this thing, so far. Yeah, it's shame really, but there you go. Yeah, so just a bit of a one there, just to sort of show you. I mean, one thing to see about this, look at that, look how wet them exhaust outlets are on it. I mean, that just shows you like the fuel's been obviously dropping just straight inside the bottom of the crank, since the seal's blown, because it's not able to push the fuel back up to the top, so that's a good sort of sign. So it couldn't burn it properly, and that's why this carburettor was going very lean, and then it was going very rich again, you know, and I could have it ticking over for perhaps a second or two, and then the next minute it wouldn't tick over, and it's all over the flipping place. So something to think about anyway. So thanks for watching once again, and I'll put another one in here soon. Once I've got this one going, I'll probably do a test run outside on some wood, and you know, you can see how well it goes. But trust me, you can get some blinking good power out of these things, I tell you. So thanks for watching Lutys Chainsaw Mods once again, and bye for now.